Right, this is June. This is Victor and Dan. Thanks very much for doing this. This is absolutely awesome. So it's really simple interview, just to kind of outline what you guys have been up to, who you are, what you've been doing, really. So can we start at the beginning? How did you guys meet? How did the band actually come together?
So I kind of started the band with a few guys at first, like trying to just some riff and get a bit of an EP out of the way. Had like a few songs written, and then I had like a few drummers before I actually met Dudley, and then few singers. We had like Simon on the bass, who's in Kingwich now. Well, he's not in Kingwich anymore.
Not anymore. No.
And then I ended up meeting Dudley, and we kind of had like a bit of an instrumental period, which was probably like a couple of months, and then Dan joined in. He did vocals because no one else could do vocals back then.
So forced into it.
Pretty
Forced
much.
into it, yeah.
Well, we don't want to be an instrumental band, so we ended up doing that. And then we ended up playing our first show. I feel like it was the beginning of the band. It was first show with Tait in Glasgow. That was cool. So yeah, that kind of is the beginning of the band. Then we kind of
3-4 years ago now.
4 years, yeah. It was 2013. 2013, I say. Right. And then so when we released Progenitor, our first EP, with Wasted State, Tony was kind enough to put it on vinyl, so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then
always helps when you've got that
totally.
physical album. Yeah.
It's a nice format, you know. It's like even CDs. A lot of people asking for CDs, but I think a vinyl is just like a cool product, especially for the artwork and everything. And the artwork was class on it. It was Ross. Ross, yeah, that's him. He does lovely artwork all the time. So he did it for pretty much nothing as well. So thanks to him.
So getting these community together, like, how did you actually find out about his work, or did he approach you?
I think he approached us as a gig.
I think he'd been at the Eye of God gig.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And then we had we recorded actually with
Xander as well.
Pretty much, and did some. I don't know if he did some stuff on Bacchus, but I remember we recorded the first EP with Ian from Bacchus. He plays guitar in Bacchus Baracus, and it was really like the first project was really like ways to state people in bands that we know, friends, people who are like we like their arts, like we like their music, and we end up doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what are these initial influences? Because like you do have a really massive sound, so I'd assume that you've got like similar influences as a band, or are they quite
kind of different? I mean, like you very much Mastodon and
ISIS
kind of as a
Tool,
especially when I first hooked up with you guys. I came from much more a sort of grind death metal background.
Lots of
slowed down a lot in my old age.
You've got to, you can't keep it running.
No. Dudley used to play in indie bands. So I mean the background is pretty diverse.
But there is definitely like a solid kind of common ground which lies into stuff like totally early like High on Fire, early Mastodon. Early like just riff actually.
And we have arguments all the time about which Mastodon is the best. For me it's the early. For him it's slightly after.
Crack the Sky.
You know what I mean? So it's
I do love the whole other stuff as well. I like the achievement on that. But yeah, I mean Dudley's been like also. It's been cool because everyone has like different ideas, and also until Asheron, I don't feel like we really had our sound. And
one side to come in as well, because obviously the Progenitor, the first one, you guys are pretty much wrote that before I joined the band. I basically came, went, here's some second guitar, here's some vocals over the top of it, and then the EP we did after, which was Your Majesty one, was very heavy, because I think that was the point where I was like, well, we'll do this.
Tragedy. Also, we were listening to Tragedy.
A lot of tragedy, a lot of crust at the time.
So that's a perfect segue. So how do you personally think the sound has changed, going through the different musicians that you've worked with, and like finishing out where we are here? Do you think you've been a bit more rigid to it, or you've been a bit more free flow with the sound? How do you think?
Completely free flow. I think back then we didn't like that's the thing. Progenitor was us. And a lot of me in my bedroom just listening to shitloads of Calgacus at Mastodon and trying to replicate that because it was Dune. I had a few bands before Dune, and but Dune is pretty much the first kind of stuff I really put all my time into it and effort. So that started with that, and then the guy had we had a bit of a stoner age because I don't think we were playing that well yet. Not that we were playing particularly well, but it was a bit more like. You know,
technically proficient.
It was simpler. I was like, it was like fucking simple riff. And then we ended up writing, we were like, oh, let's go just gnarly and heavy. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, what gnarly and heavy is, it's class, and loads of bands are doing it really well, but when we kind of went into the next album, so we wrote like Horror Majesty, which we loved. It was really good fun to do, and we kind of was thinking the next album was going to be that. It's going to be just gnarly shit and heavy shit and fast and proggy at the same time, so still remaining proggy because we're a prog band. But when we, I couldn't write anything else with that. I was like,
we got to the point where it was just a bit saturated with the heaviness, and then started working on lighter bits. He started practicing clean vocals and stuff, and it was, I think it added a load more to the actual overall sound of the band. I think not probably what people were expecting us to follow up with.
But that variance is good. You don't
want
to be
totally.
static.
That's the thing. The point we've got to now is we don't want to just be going, oh, well, the last one sounded like this, so we'll just do the same. We want to be moving forward, trying new ideas, trying new instruments, new ways of writing songs and everything like that.
Even the concept of a 4-piece is sounds like the most wonky stuff ever, but it's just being like not necessarily being the 4 of us. It cannot be. It could be like we've had like an opening show. I don't know if you were there, where we had like Jenny who did back vocals for us, and she was Pinkies. That was cool. That was really interesting. I'd love to explore that a bit more in the next.
Yeah, I saw Juniper Grave the other night. And
it's on the point. They're tight. I haven't seen them. I've heard a few things.
Yeah, I mean, Mrs. plays guitar.
Oh, really?
Showing us the guitars and everything.
Because I'm
it's all very incestuous.
Awesome. We share the same room. So Atragon, them, us. Who else is sharing it?
It
used to be Lords of Bastard.
It's not Lords anymore. It's I can't remember who's just moved in as well. Switch round. Garida aren't using it so much anymore.
Either way.
Yeah.
But would you say that like the kind of production side of things, are you getting more involved in that now, or the gear that you're actually purchasing to make certain sounds?
The gear for him, he's total gear head. Me not so much. He's a total gear nerd. Me not so much. I mean, I've went for years just playing through the most raggedy amps I could fit into a backpack.
I'm converting him.
But he's slowly converting me to much better gear. And it makes a difference. Like, it makes a huge difference. I think especially like the last tour we've just come off. Every night, you know, you've got the reliable gear. You know what you're going for guitar wise. You can turn up.
We'll serve a song guide, for sure. Like that's the thing we've changed a bit. Not that we are successful or anything, but we are able to get a little bit more money from tours. So we just allow ourselves to have like a sound engineer with us, and a sound tech guy is taking care of us pretty much every night. So tonight he was doing sound for us, and the guys knows what we're doing. So it's like things like, I've got to reverb stuff for my vocals, same for Dan, and it's like it allows us to really have the experience
of
live.
Custom fits you to each room.
It's been a very nice thing to have, because before that you obviously turn up to venues and you can be stood on stage, it sounds fine, you don't really know what it's out front, but it's awesome now having, I'd say Julius has done an awesome job the last 2 weeks, making sure it's sounding nice. But yeah, I mean, gear comes into that. You've been spending silly amounts on
gear,
new pedals,
I love
new pedals, new reverb pedals.
We'll always like their toys.
Yeah. Of course.
But we're not stupid about it. So it's not like we've got like fucking the biggest pedal board ever with loads of pedals we don't use. We just like have gear. We like to explore that kind of stuff. Yeah. We're gonna get probably like more clean amps and stuff like that on stage.
But it's there for a purpose, not just because you can buy it.
See, Conan are great in what they are doing, but it's just loudness and it's like fucking a war of amps. But we're not going to go that way. If we get more gear on the stage, not to get louder, it's probably just to get more like a bit of a more articulated sound. So maybe clean head as well as other things, so we can, add to what we're doing. Obviously in studio,
different instruments.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've started using stuff in sample pads for Dudley, for instance, to get like different weird drum stuff.
Trigger tones.
Exactly.
Like that,
but we've recorded with Graham in Edinburgh at Chambers for Asher, and the thing is that we had a lot of time to do it. We recorded about 2.5 weeks, I'd say.
Yeah, well, turned out a bit like 3 or 4 weeks all in.
Well, not really.
All the instrumentation was done in 2 weeks. 2 weeks for everything.
After demos, so there has been like a couple of days of demos done in just ourselves with Stu actually. And then from Garida, and then we went to
Wall of Sound,
Wall of Sound. We did all the demos there.
Well, I had to. It's like, I think you go like when you play like Doom and stuff like that, you don't necessarily have to, but when you play stuff like us, you have to, because you're like, does it actually sound okay? Is the vocal sound cool?
everything.
There's a lot of
needs to
stuff
be
that we'd
perfected.
done in the practice room, but we'd never really had a recording to listen to it back. You know what I mean? Go, well,
Just phones and
it
shit
sounds
like that.
alright, but
Nobody
probably
knows
actually,
how it
yeah.
sounds.
We should probably actually listen to it.
And we actually changed loads of stuff on the back of it. So we have like a month after that or 2 months after that, and we change a lot.
We ended up tuning up.
Tuning up, yeah.
There were a lot of, we used a few different guitars on the recording. I think we were using a Strat at one point, very nice.
Just 12
Always
strings, fucking
hated
everything.
Strats until we did this recording, and now I fucking love Strats.
I would never put a Strat with a musician to play is like, but yeah, fair enough.
But layers with like the album, we ended up layering a lot of stuff, a lot of
Since-
clean tones over the dirty tones and everything.
All the synths as well were used. Like, I think I love synths. I find it just the best instrument ever. So awesome. Yeah.
It does fill a lot of sound
Space,
in
yeah.
that room. Yeah.
And like the atmosphere, the texture you get out of it is great. I think Barter has been using quite a lot of, not even synths, I think they use loads of, not even Hammonds, what is the other one? Rhodes.
Yeah.
Rhodes with like, reverb and shit like that, and that sounds just beautiful. And I'd love to do a bit more of that in like Sabon.
So, I see you guys are not shy about touring either. You actually like to pack the van up and get out there and show your wares to people. So, is there any like road stories that you can tell us about? Tell us what's been going on in these last few weeks?
I've got plenty.
Well, yeah, the last.
Not Crackers, but I would say the best one was with Project.
As well? No. We did the last 2 weeks.
Oh man, I need to get one story from Trudger though. We toured with a band called Trudger, which are not going anymore. Great band though, but it's a shame.
Fantastic.
Anyway, we went on what was the car we had? Like a really
we were in a
small
fucking.
car.
This is before we even had a van to do it. So we were in a Citroen C5.
Nice.
5 of us in there.
And over
What is
here?
that?
No, we had another guy driving with Trudger in the
Right,
van,
okay.
and we did a Citroen C5 with the entire tune in there, with the driver.
The guy was called Boothie, right? And he has like where is he from again? Barnsley, right? So the strongest
Good
accent
Yorkshire
ever.
boys.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Fuck, I should say Yorkshire Girls.
Anyway,
So we ended up we were playing in the Netherlands, and their van was a death trap. Dan went into their van for like it wasn't comfortable in our car, so he was like, yes, I'm going to the van now, and got into the van, and he's like, there's no fucking seat belt. The chairs are just fucking bolted on the floor by the guy, right? So it's like the most dangerous stuff. And there is like, you see, you've got a separation between the gear and the rest of the van.
Yep.
But there was nothing here. So if the guy just fucking breaks with a van and you get like a head, like I don't know, 20 kilo bass head in the back of your head, you can die, right? It's a death trap. Anyway, Dan came out of the van and said, this is fucking terrible. And those guys used to, like, were smoking loads of weed, same with the driver. Anyway, we are driving and we are like leaving a place in Netherlands, and the guy just goes on the roundabout, and as he goes on the roundabout, both of the fucking door in the back opens, and you've got like all the gears, and we are behind the car, right? And we're like, holy fucking shit, the doors are like wide open. Oh, I can see my guitar head, right? My fucking highway down. I'm like, so our driver is like fucking honking the living shit out of his stuff, and goes on the side of the van, and we're like, like fucking doors of the van are open, and the guys are like, hey, hi, totally. So they ended up stopping like maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes after, and just closing the door. Nothing happened, and I was just like, that was.
After that, we bought our own van.
Pretty much.
So after that, we
we've
bought our
got
own
traveling
van.
comfort.
Yeah. No, we bought our own van, kitted that out. That's done us for the last 2-3 years.
2 years
I
and
think.
a half, yeah.
Up until this last tour, where we managed to do 4,000. We did 4,000 miles round. So Edinburgh down to Amsterdam, then Dudley drove all the way around France.
South of France,
France, back up through Germany, back up to Holland, back down through the south of Germany. Played the last gig. Awesome. 3 in the morning, let's just drive back to Amsterdam now. Got 2 hours up the road in the middle of nowhere. I think we're about 50 miles outside of Frankfurt. Engine explodes. So that was good.
It was late as well. It was like
late.
3-4 in the morning, and there
The
was.
fifth member of the band.
The fifth member of the band is now dead, and we've left him on the roadside in Germany and sold him to a nice Turkish man who decided to give us a few euros for it.
300 euros. Man, it was.
But that was the first real tour casualty, I reckon, is that band. But
It
it
could
did
be like-
us proud.
In all fairness, it could have been way worse than that. It could have been just, we've been lucky so far.
I mean,
with
three
all
three
those.
hours before that, we were up a mountain in Hubach, and it's near the
Ubach.
Bavarians.
I think I probably pronounced it badly as
Hubach.
well.
But
could
that
be
was
stuck up there,
yeah,
now
no,
you
that
get
was
the
going
clock.
up. That was going up at an angle like this for about 2 hours up through forests 300-foot drops off either side of the road, so it could have broke down there.
Yeah.
So silver line.
You did your proud.
It did us proud. It does us proud. It got us at least back down the mountain before giving up the ghost sort of thing.
So I like to ask these bands that have been touring, is there anybody that you think deserves a shout out that might not have had the spotlight shown on them, people that you've either toured with or just seen yourself?
I mean, we've been very lucky in that I think every single band we've ever been on tour with
I've been class
has
guy.
been awesome. So I think we did one with Trudger,
Class guys.
awesome guys, boys from Fonge, from France,
Top notch.
lovely guys. We did a wee tour at the start of the year with Kurokoma.
Great guys
Both
as
from
well.
Sheffield, awesome guys, and obviously at the moment with the Crackhouse boys, who again, lovely. I mean, you don't know until you get in a van with a load of people. What it's going to be like?
Can bring the
Yeah,
real
yeah, of
person
course,
out.
of course, of course. I mean, when you're spending 2 weeks basically living on top of other people, but I think we've been very lucky the last 2
So
or 3
do
years.
you guys orchestrate the bands that play with you, or vice versa? Do they ask you, or
It's a
do
bit
they
of
just
a
merge
mix.
together?
Yeah, it tends to be
mix.
that sort of 50-50. So like for this, we've sorted the sort of UK side and some of the German gigs. The boys from Crackhouse they obviously, because they're from France, they've got a few more contacts over there. So it's sort of, works out sort of 50-50.
So
We usually find
DIY,
people
yeah.
to split the tour organisation with, because we're still at the point where obviously we're booking all the stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Hope it's going to change. Really hope it's going to change. We're doing everything we can so we can get help, because we want to do more of that. We want to play more fests. We want to play more gigs. It's just like, I don't really like, people say, are you that kind of bands that want to, do it or whatever. It's not really that. We just want to play fucking shows and play with cool bands we like. There's loads of bands I love to play with, fucking Intama.
Yeah.
I've played once with them. I would like, go on tour with them.
There were a
That'd be,
couple of times we were possibly meant to, but they've just had to cancel the European tour.
they just cancel the European tour, yeah. But it's like, what we just want to do is just like play shows and go to places. It's cool as fuck, and it's just very meaningful thing to do for us anyway.
So what is in the foreseeable future then? So you've got this album out, you're coming to the end of the tour. What's the foreseeable future for June?
More tours, more fest. There are going to be some announcements made in December. We'll keep that low for now, but you'll see.
I'll happily promote as when. Yeah.
So I think next year is going to be. Yeah, I think there's a few festivals.
Yeah,
not
quite a
announced
few.
yet, but as he says, start writing as
Is
well.
your next album?
Yeah,
Next
you were
album.
saying that you've got little fragments of stuff.
Yeah, ideas, fragments. We need to properly get sat down and start writing.
So is this going
It's
to be
gonna
like
be
practice space? Like, how do you make your tunes? Is it more like strict practice space, or is it more on the road? How do you actually
No, I mean we tend to go at home. Yeah. I mean, Vic's will either tend to write. It tends to be that either you'll have sort of like 2/3 of a song down.
Then
I'll
we had
have
stuff,
2/3 of a song down. Maybe I think the last album we had a lot more. Very right as what. And then we'll tend to once that sort of 2/3 of a song idea is there, we'll bring it all together, get it into the practice room, start putting drums over it, start exploring ideas of what we want to do with the other guitars, the other vocals.
Although the kind of first intention, the first draft comes from either myself or Dan, then we always have like the moment, so we probably have like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 riffs and a bit of an idea of where we want to go. From that point to the moment the song is finished, there is Dudley who comes in a lot. And at the time, Alan Patterson, who our bassist, fucking brilliant bassist, who just come in as well and just we bounce idea on each
the
other.
last one. Yeah.
So we'll be like, here's a track, here's a bit of a structure, and we're gonna change some riffs, we're gonna, put stuff in.
Rearrange it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we do a
Things
lot
like
of
that,
we
yeah.
do a lot of chopping and changing. I think the last album there were 3 tracks, probably about 30 minutes worth of material that
Got rid of.
didn't make it
That's
anywhere near the album.
good though. I like to see it's not literally just a one-person driven band. It's actually that amalgamation
No.
of different
I mean,
visions
Victor,
to refine
I'd
it.
say is probably the driver.
But there is always one in the band. Every band's are like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
It
if you
needs
take
that.
any
It
band,
needs
you have
that.
that.
But you've actually got the wherewithal to pass it to somebody else and go, what do you think? Not just, this is the best.
Yeah, so we come from very different backgrounds of, like Victor's very much classically trained, grew up playing piano. I never had a guitar.
Harpsichord.
Harpsichord, sorry.
I will keep the harpsichord in there. 10 years of it, for fuck's sake.
Harpsichord, but whereas I've had maybe one guitarist in my entire life. So whereas he comes from a very classic point of view, there's maybe bits they take and I'll go, well, how about this lead over it, which would be totally different to what you come up with, and same vice versa. Like if I come up with the basis of something, then you probably come up with something that I wouldn't have thought of, and it's a very nice thing to be able to have and to be able to bounce ideas off people in that way.
And the trust as well.
Yeah, totally. And go, well, you get what I'm trying to do, but...
Not saying that we don't argue and practice every now and then, but it's especially during weekdays, you know, you have like a long fucking day and you arrive and you've got riff and you're just like, eh. But outside that, it's been a delightful experience. It went relatively quickly as well. Although we had like a couple of tracks before that, the core of the album got written in 6 months, not even.
Yeah.
So
once we actually like
get our head into it, it goes quick.
Went down and get down to
We're doing this now.
Yeah,
very much. And it's like it's a time where essentially you go home and you do guitar before you go to practice. And sometimes I was waking up, I was just taking my guitar and get some stuff sorted, record some stuff, and then we're gonna practice with the guys. I'm moving to London, so I think I'm moving to London pretty much in January, and so we're gonna have to do. I'm still gonna go back to Edinburgh pretty much every 2 weeks or so, especially when we're gonna be writing. So it's more gonna be a question of having like a bunch of stuff to practice, and then for Dan, same for Dan, we're gonna send stuff to each other. I mean, it works.
I think these days it's so easy to sit in your house, record a load of stuff, multi-track it all, send it to him. We can multi-track it straight back, put layers onto it, send it back. We can just bounce ideas off each other all week long. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the difference between you being on the other side of Edinburgh to being down in London, it's not that big a deal. Especially when you're back up every 2 weeks anyway.
So the guy from Eldor, we played with Eldor recently, and I was talking. We went for beers with them after. I got stupidly drunk that night. So I threw up over my fucking window.
Yeah?
I was terrible.
2 beer bike.
2 beer bike off, man. Don't trust me with 2 beers. So we went with. Wait, that's
Strong
watch.
Wait. Watch.
I'm not going to puke over your mic.
Yeah.
And so we went for drinks with them, and the guy was telling us, "Oh, I live in Germany," like the main guitarist. I live in Germany. I was like, "Oh," and one of the two of them live in Boston, and the other one in New York or something like that. And I was like, "Holy shit, right?" And they end up writing albums, brilliant albums. Anyway, so it gives me a bit of
I think it would
comfort.
just be more of the correspondence. It doesn't matter if you're in close or far away.
That's the thing.
You just got to keep getting onto each other. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Cool.
That was
Thanks,
absolutely a pleasure.
Cheers.
We'll have to get you back on at some point in time
For
after
sure.
we get new shit out. But thanks very much again.
Thanks for that, man.
Cheers very much.
Cheers. Enjoy the gig.
Cheers.